Hey, it's Ray Fulcher. If you're not listening to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shiver, then you probably got it all wrong.
Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
What's up, everybody? I'm excited for this one. All right. So welcome to an early Tuesday morning show. We're going to kind of make sure it sounds good. I got a fill-in today, so we're going to see how everything goes. Good intro, though. You started off pretty well. So I'll definitely give you that on that one. How's everything sound on your end?
Super clear.
Is it? Cool. All right. I'll take it for there. If you guys are in the chat, everything sounds good. Let us know where you're listening from today. I do love the early morning show, Jay. This is kind of cool. Earliest one I've done, and I'm pumped, man. This is awesome. So, all right. If everything sounds good on your end, I'm going to roll with it. All right. Welcome to season 4 of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast. Each week, we connect melodies and memories with fans, artists, and passionate, driven individuals in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver. Today we are presented by our good friends at Arlo Revolution, cinematic, wedding films, music videos, and promos. You can find them at arlorevolution.com. And then our on-screen sponsors, Art on a Higher Wire by Joel, original custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And my good buddy, Corey Oliphant, the original church choir. Each week, I'm honored to have Corey and the OC as a sponsor. It's amazing to have them out here with us. So if you are looking for ways to support or sponsor the show, we talk about it every week. The heart and soul of our show is our Patreon page. Tiers start at just $1. If Patreon is something you can't do, the next best way is to support the show is to like, share, review, and subscribe anywhere you can find the show. That little Apple iPod. Geez, I'm dating myself on that one. Apple app logo podcast thing. Yeah, there you go. Check on that. Download some episodes. We're less than 100 downloads away from like 10,000, which is pretty damn cool. I'm really excited about that. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys are not joining us live, if you're listening to us on the streaming side, check out a live show sometime if you can. Today's a little different. We might have a little different crowd today, being a little morning show. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We might have to change some things up if we like it. So if you guys are in our Patreon group, we do our monthly drawings. We will be drawing next week for our July package. Tyler Joe Miller snapback hat, Jeremy Spillman autographed Divine Devil's book, and a couple of little trinkets from Backstage Bobby. She was great last week. Great interview. So loved having her live in studio as well. All right. And then if you guys have not seen our socials, we kind of did a soft announcement. We will be doing the big announcement later this week. And with everything else, it should be officially announced, everything out there by August 1st. But yes, our 100th podcast was announced. We are taking over Revival live in Nashville, Tuesday, September 7th. Oh, let me make this. I can actually read it. Jonathan Singleton and Ray Fulcher is headlining, which is phenomenal. And we have guests Jordan Fletcher, Everett, Rob Williford, Ryan Nelson, Still Matthews, Ashlyn Kraft, Ken Bryan, Clayton Shea, Jacob Lutz, Chris Harris, Warren Garrett, Jeremy Noble, and one more. So everything else will be finalized. Everything's ready to go. St. Jude's going to be out there. All money raised is going straight to St. Jude for this night. We're going to have a silent auction, T-shirts, posters. It's going to be an awesome night. So if you guys are not doing anything on Tuesday, September 7th, make sure to come out and get there early because I don't see us having any room by the time this thing starts. If you do get there early, my good friend, Mike Savaka from Wisconsin's coming all the way down to Nashville, playing Nashville his very first time for us from 4 to 6 that day, kicking everything off. So I'm pretty damn excited for this. It's going to be an amazing night. Definitely try to come out. And we're going to try live stream too. If you can't be there, we are going to try live stream it right on the podcast. So, all right. Got all that out of the way. The good stuff. The reason why you guys are all tuning in today. So tonight, I had to change all my stuff. I never did that today. Today, we welcome in singer-songwriters Southerland. This duo made up of South Carolina native Matt Chase and Georgia native Chris Rogers are rising as one of the hot duos in country music. I first heard the song along these lines, co-written with Eric Church's band's own Driver Williams. Since then, I've been hooked on the way these two are just painting pictures with lyrics, man. I mean, the lyrics and their writing is phenomenal. They co-wrote their entire EP. They co-wrote on it. Just some cool stuff, guys. We're gonna welcome Southerland in. Can't wait to meet you guys. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
What's up, Aaron?
How you guys doing today, man? I'm so excited for this show.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
stoked too. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Mainly because we kind of been running around the same group for a couple years, and when we finally got to connect, I know you guys are from River House Artists, which houses amazing people. Drew Parker, Driver Williams, yourself, among others. But y'all, I want to throw this all back like I do with every artist, and you guys are gonna have to bounce off each other a little bit, but I want to know what was going on in the house while you guys are growing up, what your parents were listening to. What's your first music memory you had?
Man, so for me, my mom, she probably had the biggest influence on me as far as music goes. Yeah, I just remember literally riding around in her little Honda Accord. We'd ride out to my grandma's house and just blast the 90s country. So, man, I literally remember when Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson came. So, I mean, I've been hooked from day one on that kind of stuff, you know. Alan Jackson was a big influence.
That is awesome, man.
At my house, man, my mom is a traditional country fan. I mean, her favorite artist of all time is Keith Whitley. We listen to a lot of Keith Whitley. We listen to a lot of Alan Jackson, George Jones, George Strait. But my dad is a Southern rocker. My dad, he loves country music.
Yeah.
His bread and butter is Southern rock. So it was always REO Speedwagon and White Snake and all those kind of bands like that. And Dad had that dang radio cranked to 10 and the house would be bumping and Mom would yell at him. And it was a circle of life in there.
Oh man, what was his jam from Mario? I mean, what was he running around the house singing? There had to be one that just stands out.
Well, first of all, he wasn't singing because he's not a singer. Honestly, you know, he's kind of one of those guys. He never really has a favorite song. He just put on like the records and just let it rip, and just whatever was on, he was on.
Hell yeah, man, that is so cool. Definitely, I'm being from Illinois, a huge REO Speedwagon fan. So when you brought up some memories, so I've seen them a few times. When you guys hit high school, I've always noticed a common thing with a lot of artists. That's when we've always rebelled, or just music fans in general. We rebelled and we kind of went different paths with music. Did you guys have any different influences when it came into that time for you guys? Did you guys venture out at all from the rock or country side at all?
Oh, dude, I went through some phases for sure.
I still listen to everything, man.
True.
So when I was like, I don't know, I must have been 12 or 13. I remember the very first CD that I ever bought with my own money was a Matchbox 20 CD.
Hell yeah, dude.
I wore that thing out front to back, man, and that was like, you know, one of the first songs I learned how to play was one of those songs off that record, and you know, so I listened to a lot of that growing up. I'm a big Foo Fighters fan.
All right.
I listen to stuff like Hoobastank, Incubus. So I mean, I'm all over the place when it comes to music. You know, I grew up. Once I hit high school and started riding around, I was one of the had little Ford Ranger with two like 10-inch subwoofers stuffed behind the damn seat, and I was up there driving like this little stick shift Ford Ranger, bumping like Lil Jon and just, you know.
I had a Dodge Dakota, so.
Dude, I went through everything too, man. I went through this like punk rock phase. I really loved like Green Day for a while, AFI for a minute, Switchfoot, Yellow Card, stuff like that. But man, country's always been a home base. I mean, I would say it's always been 70-30 or 80-20, always country. And but man, it's one of those things. I mean, you know, there was popular music at the time, and whatever the girl wanted to listen to when she hopped in the truck, that's what was gonna get put on.
Dude, I used to burn CDs back in the day.
Dude.
It'd be like a straight run right over to the damn Youngbloods or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like let's just like no holds bar on this burnt CD.
Oh no.
So did you guys come up in the LimeWire days?
I dabbled in the LimeWire game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Guys listening, I did not, but I did. Dude, yeah, that was the thing, man. My computer would freeze every 5
You'd
seconds.
be like, please don't be a virus. Please don't be a virus. Oh, new Pearl Jam.
I'll tell you what was big back in the day was just that MySpace top 5 songs or top 8 songs or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dude, look at my little ass. Oh, clean shaven. There he is.
They were Darius.
With a damn visor on.
It looks like the way that graphic is. It looks like he's wearing a T-shirt of us.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
it looks like he's wearing our shirt.
There you go. It was done before it was ever done.
Oh man. Yep.
Was
That's
that
awesome, man.
That Darius?
That's Darius. That's when
Okay,
Darius.
So that
was
wasn't
Darius.
Hootie.
That's actually at a radio station.
Nice, dude. One of my second concerts was Hootie back in like 96, 97. I'll never forget that. Those guys were awesome, man.
So good.
So kind of coming up, you guys have been in Nashville. Well, next year will be 10 years here in Nashville. When you guys first met there, you guys were coming in to Nashville. You were thinking what? Solo artist, songwriter. What was your goals kind of coming in and moving into Nashville that day you guys moved in? What goals were what was right in front of you?
Well, I remember how we both moved here. We both moved here as solo acts. We didn't know each other, but how I convinced to get my parents to come to Nashville anyway was I still had 2 years of college to go. Holy smokes, where are you getting these pictures? So I had to
gotta show the journey, brother.
I want to go be a country singer. You know, my dad's like, whoa, let's talk about this first. And I kind of worked him to where like, hey, if you go finish your last 2 years and get your bachelor's degree and kind of be in Nashville at the same time, figure it out. But yeah, we came here. I mean, I wrote songs, but they were all bad. So it was just literally just trial by fire there for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
You can never write a bad song.
Yeah, that's true.
Chris, how about you, man? What was in your front mirror there when you were coming into town, dude? What goals were right in front of you?
You know, just the solo career. You know, that was I never moved here with the intentions of being in a duo at all. You know, we kind of got very similar stories. Just both be a solo male, artist. You know, I didn't really care too much about writing when I first got into town. I was just more into singing because writing is never anything that I was into before I moved to Nashville. Yeah. But once I got up here, man, and I started doing that, I really fell in love with that because that was just like, to me, it just felt more authentic, I guess, for me to actually stand there and sing a song that I had written. I had something, over the past, 5 or 6 years, or over the first 5 or 6 years that I was here, you kind of go through things here in town, the ebb and flows and the ups and downs, and figure out, like, man, I have something I want to say. You find out who you are and, what you want to say. And, just being able to write every day, 4 or 5 times a day, 4 or 5 times a week, sorry. 5 times a day. 4 or 5 times a week over those first 5 or 6 years, and then it's kind of like Matt said, you just kind of get through all of the songs that aren't that great. And I feel like that's the thing with songwriting. You got to get through all the bad ones to finally get to the good ones. And, but just having something to say, and finding your voice and finding your direction as an artist.
And your confidence grows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longer you're in town, the longer you write those awful songs, and then you get a really good one, and your confidence grows. And then after a few years in town, then you start realizing, like, oh, I have something I want to say. I have stories I want to tell. And, you kind of find your groove, and you find what you're good at and what your co-writers are good at, and you try and find this kind of perfect cocktail to create something that could change people's lives or emit emotions in people. And,
Exactly.
Yeah. I had way too many Miller Lights in that picture down there. I barely remember that one.
Nice. And that's what I love about your guys' music too. You guys aren't really like, I know everybody's like, oh, country music's this genre, that genre, there's pop country, there's that country, but you guys aren't really focused on that. And you're just focused on making damn good music with damn good lyrics. And it doesn't really matter what genre it falls into of the country music world, as long as it's there. As long as people are relating to it and listening to it. And I love that. So would you guys start off solo on Broadway, or did you guys start playing Broadway together when you guys were out there playing the Broadway scene for a while?
Well, I was just kind of piggyback off what we were just talking about. I think we've been in town about 5 or 6 years apiece before we actually met each other.
Yeah. Okay.
played, yeah, then once we met, man, we were instantly, within the first week, we were out playing shows outside of town, and we were doing that for probably 9 months to a year, and then we kind of broke off into the Broadway circuit, But we were always playing together, but not in a duo capacity. It was just
you guys were doing a lot of like rounds and stuff too. I know you guys. Well, you guys kind of met out in Key West, correct? You guys were doing the Songwriters Festival in Key West.
Yeah, so we met through Ray. I guess about 2016 when we actually met. And how it all started was, in Nashville, you got to earn your keep, and how we started was just playing shows on the weekends to pay rent.
Yeah.
I'm broke as hell, Chris broke as hell, but I got 3-4 hour shows in Randomsville, United States, this weekend. I know you know a bunch of songs. Let's go make a little money. And that started, and we probably played God knows how many shows like that. And, as time goes on, you get comfortable with that other person. And naturally, I started singing with him, and he started singing with me. So we were functioning as a duo without even knowing it. And after every show, people would come up to us and say, man, you guys are great. What's the name of your band or duo? We want to go look up some of your music. And you'd have to say, well, I'm Matt. This is Chris. We're actually solo acts. And you see him step back and look at you and be like, what? Like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. Like, why aren't y'all a duo? So, yeah, how the Key West thing happened was, man, we've probably been doing that for a little while. And, BMI hosts this Songwriters Festival in Key West every year. They didn't get to do it this year or last year, but they did do it this year. Did they do it this year? Well, Andy, regardless.
Yeah, I think they just did. Well, they did either Mile Zero or the song. They did one of them this year.
Yeah. So when we were down there, we were like, hey, let's get a late night residency at one of these bars. That way, after all the official shows are done, people can come and get up and play cover songs, just have fun, drink, or whatever. And wow. Yeah, I know. And
I'll tell you the story about that picture later.
Yeah. So how it all kind of came to the peak was we were playing down there, playing cover songs. And Lynn Klein, who is the president CEO of River House Artists, where we're at now, she came in and saw us play, and right there in the street, she was like, listen, I don't know y'all. I don't really know what you got going on. But she goes, I would give y'all a duo deal right now. She loved it that much. She saw potential in it that much. And we kind of tossed it around for a little while, and then we both came to our senses one day, and we're like, dude, let's do the duo thing.
Hell yeah, man.
History ever since.
That's cool. That's how you guys came together. You guys both had the mutual friend, Ray Fulcher, which is, huge things happening for that guy this year. And it was amazing stuff. And it's cool when you see your buddies doing good too, because you're in good company, and it's being with those guys and on River House, dude. Like I said earlier, River House is a powerhouse in my eyes. So you guys seem. Oh, actually, before we move on, I want to know the story with this picture.
Well, first of all, speaking of Ray, I'm wearing his shirt right there in that photo.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know what is that, 10 or 12 pizzas I'm holding. This is a show that we play for
10 or 12 pizzas I'm holding.
This is the show that we play for the UGA Coaches Clinic down in Athens, Georgia, which is like 45 minutes right outside of my hometown.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. This is probably the third or fourth time I've been down there to play, and this is one time that I took Matt, and again, this is before the duo. We were just down there just kind of playing together, and every year they have Jimmy John. What is it? Papa John. Sorry,
not Jimmy John. They're holding Papa John's pizzas, right?
They have Papa John's cater this thing, and I'm not kidding you, man. It's the most pizza I've ever seen in my entire life. So after the show, they have like, I don't know, 75, 80 pizzas left over, and of course we got a van full of hungry band members back there, just like grabbing 10 pizzas.
Oh yeah,
that shit's good the next morning too.
Oh yeah. I don't even know if it made it the next morning. We put a number on the thing.
So that's me standing in the trailer at loadout with like 12 pizzas.
That is awesome. It's funny though how you're kind of commenting on the correcting him too, because y'all seem like you guys have formed a brotherhood over this and meeting and everything else. Your birthdays are 10 days apart. I had to write that down. How do you guys feel like when you guys are on stage? You guys feel like that's just kind of, you guys were meant to, this duo was meant to be, like you're doing what you're meant to be, kind of? Because just seeing you guys and kind of seeing your chemistry together, like y'all are long lost brothers or something, man.
When people find out you're a duo or something like that, I don't know why. A lot of them wonder if it's kind of manufactured. Hey, some label person see you and be like, hey, y'all should come together.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case at all. I mean, it was just, there's few people in this world that you meet sometimes, and from the first time you meet him, you're like, oh, that's a lifelong friend right there. That's somebody who I can get along with. That's what Chris was. And I think a lot of it is we've had so many shared experiences together, ups and downs and lefts and rights, and so many hours spent together. It's just, you do develop a brotherhood. Because I can tell you, if you don't, it won't work. It won't work. And I think we developed that over the years for sure. And I think another good thing too is we both have our strengths and we both have our weaknesses, but they all help each other. Like what my weakness might be is probably a strength for Chris. Whatever his strength is, probably a weakness of mine. Stuff like that. And I said that same thing twice. The exact same. They see. I
can go back and edit that out later.
You just naturally develop that, man, for sure.
That is awesome, dude. That is so cool. But seeing just the way you guys have formed, like I said, it's chemistry. That is just building amazing stuff. With you guys doing Broadway and playing these 4-hour cover sets and learning all these covers, did you guys ever venture out and play like any festivals at all together, like early on? I did see a picture that you guys were at Country Thunder, Wisconsin with Ray a couple years back and stuff. But did you guys ever do anything like when you were doing the Broadway circuit where it was just you two playing? And if you did, when did you guys know, or when did you guys start to know when to start putting originals in your cover sets?
Well, I can tell you, we had started writing together throughout those years. I mean, not really trying to write duo songs, but just writing together. And, we never really did any like major shows at that point in time, like maybe stuff here and there. I mean, a lot of our stuff was Broadway or just playing cover gigs anywhere.
Yeah.
So we've hundreds of shows, but none of them were really like marquee name and light stuff. A lot of it was just being there.
But it's all duo acoustic.
It's all duo acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
And when we started writing songs, I mean, when you're out with somebody for that long, you just start writing. And my taste and my dream of what career I wanted music-wise and what Chris wanted was perfectly in line. A lot of we get painted a lot with that 90s country brush. I wouldn't say we're 90s country, but we're so heavily influenced by 90s and 2000s that's all we know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to, all of our music is not track-based. It's all band-based. If you don't see it on stage, you don't hear it kind of thing. And well, for some people, that's kind of fascinating, but I'm like, listen, that's just not what we do.
The way that you were describing it earlier, Aaron, like just trying to write good songs, I mean, that's literally it. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. I don't feel like I'm up here like saving country music or like bringing country music back or anything like that, So I'm not trying to be like the next Alan Jackson. He is an icon to me. He's one of my top 2 artists of all time. But like they did their own thing and they had their own like we call like that old man country swag. He's got that. Like there's just no way like anybody else is gonna stand on stage and sing those songs like him and have that kind of just power just by standing on stage singing those songs. So I'm not trying to like be that person. I'm just trying to write songs that I connect with and that I feel like are true to me, and I just by the grace of God that I feel like they're connecting with other people at the same time.
100%.
That's sweet, man. Yeah, so like what I was thinking, like I talked a little bit about it on my last episode, but like I know there's been a couple artists I've seen where I know they have a handful of this badass originals in their pocket, but I'm out seeing them doing like mediocre covers at like some of these bigger shows and stuff, and I'm like, why are you doing these mediocre covers when I know you have these badass originals? And they're people from Broadway, and I don't know if they kind of get in tunnel vision away with being from Broadway, and hey, that's just what we're gonna do, and not really introduce too many originals. I've seen a couple acts. Skylar Anderson, I'm a huge fan of his. He's a Broadway artist now. He'll throw a bunch of originals in too, every now and then. But for you guys, did you guys know when, like, did you guys feel like, hey, this is the crowd's, we need to drop original right now?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we do on Broadway, and we still do, it's a balance because most people don't know us yet. We're still a smaller act, and
Yeah.
you start going down the original saying you could lose people, and on Broadway you're there to make you're there to make money. Yeah, you're making fans, you're there to make tips. And I think one thing that Chris and I have done well is we kind of put it on the audience. I'll get on the mic and be like, hey guys, we're having a great time tonight. But, Chris and I write our own music. Would you like to hear one? 99.9% of times, everyone will want to hear your original music.
You just got to sell it.
And you got to sell it. And
Yeah.
you got to not, you have to feel confident doing it.
Yeah.
You never want to say, hey guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to play it. No, play your songs. You're write songs and sing your songs.
Because you're saying you don't mind. You're not being confident in
They're there to
yourself.
sell you. Yeah. And man, we just would throw our originals in there and they'd be well received, and for the most part. And then that would lead into, hey, do another original.
Yeah.
Next thing, an original artist set.
Yeah, the way we always approach it is like try to hook them in with the cover songs.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, nobody knows you, so you pretty much got to prove to them that you're a good performer or a good singer or whatever it is. You do that for a little while, and then people will be hooked. They're already pulling for you, and they like you. So
Yeah.
they're bound like your.
I'll tell you, we've made so many lifelong relationships from playing on Broadway, from people that have booked us for private events or that know somebody that gets us on a show here and there. And man, I wouldn't trade it for it.
And look at it, now you all have Broadway acts covering your songs. So, I mean, that has to come full circle and be badass. I mean, have you guys gone down Broadway and hear Boot Up or anything yet?
I haven't. Yet.
I haven't.
I'd love to, though. That's a bucket list for sure.
That's going to happen. That's going to be badass. You're going to walk in and be like, holy shit, these guys are doing Boot Up. Look at this.
That'd be awesome.
Totally cool.
So, a couple of songs that I wanted to kind of talk on was a couple you wrote with Driver Williams. Have you guys only done the two that you guys have kind of put out there along those lines? And was the other one was Hold One?
Yeah. We played with Driver a good bit. I mean,
Nice.
kind of like what I was saying with Chris, when you meet somebody that you just naturally get along with, that's what Driver was. I remember when we first met him, you see him on stage, he's a badass rock star, tattooed up.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to meet him. You don't really know what to expect. Like, this dude could come in here and be a full-scale asshole. But, dude, he is literally the nicest guy on planet Earth. And I'm not just that. I mean, you know him, Aaron.
Hell yeah.
He's such a great dude, and he's such an advocate of music and songs. And, man, we've hit it up. And he's one of our favorite writes in town. And we're just lucky to have him in our circle. And
he was born with it, man. He was born into it. I mean,
yeah.
Have you ever heard the Smoke a Little Smoke story from him?
I think so.
But
If I had it so long.
him just being really messed up one night in church was like, hey, man, what are you going to do tonight? He's like, I'm just going to drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke. He goes, no, you're going to sit down. We're going to write that. I'm like, that was one of his first cuts he ever had. So I think that was his first.
His daddy's a big fan of ours, too, and kind of a big advocate for us in this town.
We're actually writing over at Jody's.
We're going there right after this. Yeah.
Nice, dude. And they just landed Ben Skill over there, dude. Amazing lineup over there, too. Just the things that is happening in Nashville right now, especially with singer-songwriters, is just phenomenal. And I love seeing the direction it's going into because y'all are doing great things. I mean, if you guys Fulcher, all Drew Parker, Combs, all you guys. And you guys all ran together for the longest time. So your debut EP came out earlier this year in May. I mentioned earlier, you guys co-wrote all 7 songs on it. You guys haven't got to play many shows. You're playing one tonight in Nashville. So if you guys are in local Nashville, 6 p.m. tonight, tickets are $10, a listening room outside show. Definitely go check them out. But you guys, tell me how this has been for you. Kind of coming along during a pandemic and really not being able to reach out to your fans other than like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Has it been tough in a way, or?
Man, it has. I mean, I think we've made the best of it, the best that we could. We spent a ton of time writing last year. So, I mean, 2020, that was just kind of a loss for everybody, right? Not just us. So we tried to capitalize on, being at home, and we wrote a ton over Zoom, wrote a lot of the songs that we released, on the EP over Zoom. And, but it has been tough, because I feel like Matt and I, our bread and butter is being in front of people and playing the live show. And, I feel like that's where we thrive and we gain the most fans, being live on stage in front of people. So it's definitely hindered our growth a little bit, but we're just looking forward to getting back out there and playing these shows as they pop back up and jumping on every opportunity that we can.
Yeah. That's right. Stuff is, man, you can only control what's in your control. In especially last year, this town is it's a mixed bag. A lot of it's analytics based, a lot of it's social media numbers based, a lot of it's pure talent, a lot of it's right place, right time. It's so many things that have to go right. And you get frustrated a lot of times, especially when you're a baby act. All you want to do is get out there and just sell yourself, be the product.
Yeah.
You can't, and all you have is, the stuff you can do and TikTok and stuff like that. It's just like, you can only work with the tools you got. And, it's peaks and valleys, man. Some days are better than others. Some days you get frustrated, and some days you're over the moon.
It's a roller coaster ride, man. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something that I heard Church told me years ago. He said that he was talking with Christopher. I mentioned it before on this podcast, but he said he was talking with Chris Christopherson years ago, and he made a comment about the faster you go to the top, the faster you come back down. And just pretty much like, hey, that's your pace. The slower it takes you to get there, the slower it's going to take you to come back down. And I love that. And I think that's how he built his career. And I really like that you guys are going to be hitting 10 years next year. And you guys are definitely now coming to your peak, or not to your peak, but just coming to your debut. And you're going to come out there and just kicking ass. Like the minute the gates open, y'all ready to go. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But,
it's kind of sitting on G waiting on O. It's kind of.
Hell yeah, dude. So the picture I'm showing right now, you guys are in a famous hallway in a badass bar. One thing you need to ask next time you see Driver, and I'm sure him and I will talk about it because he's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. Ask him about his dime bag table from the machine shop. If you guys ever see him, because it was funny. We were there. I was there one night seeing Church, and we were hanging out after the show, and they had this nice tabletop with dime bag all over it. And Driver, you guys know, I was a huge dime bag Daryl fan.
Yeah.
And Church looks at the owner of the machine shop and goes, "How much for that table?" And I don't know how much they said or anything else, but they worked out something, because like probably 20 minutes later, here comes Eric Church carrying that table out of the bar, handed it to the driver. Says, "Load it up in the van, man, or in the bus."
That's crazy.
Bought him this table from the machine
This
shop.
day might be one of my favorite shows we played.
Yeah, tell me about this place, dude. Tell me about it.
I mean, just from that picture, you can tell. I mean, anybody, especially in the rock world, has played there. So much history. The staff and crew, the machine shops in Flint, Michigan, our class act, amazing people.
Well, that was one of the things for me. The venue was awesome. It was really cool, and everybody was really nice. But I was honestly a little worried before we went in there, because I was like, man, we're singing country music. We're not like, we have a little bit of edge in some of these songs, but like it's not like we're not getting up there rocking anything out. It's a duo acoustic opening slot, So we were up there playing acoustic guitars and playing this country music. But man, everybody, it's like from the very first song that we sang, everybody just latched onto it, and they were loving it. So it was.
Dude, Flint, Michigan has a country crowd.
Yeah,
dude, they do, man. Yeah. They showed up, and it was a great crowd. The show went great. Like I said, the crew and staff there, man. That we keep up with them now, and we're looking forward to going back, man.
Yeah. That picture, though, I mean, because if anybody has not looked at the history of the photo hallway of the machine shop, and the amount of fans and people that have taken the photo in this hallway, it's just amazing. So
also some merch in the game.
Oh, I have many shirts from them.
That shirt I'm wearing is literally, I just got it like 2 minutes before, and I was like, this thing's so cool, I'm gonna put it on right now. So
I have one upstairs. I should wear that tonight or today. My machine shop shirt, yeah, dude. Because they used to make their own flannels. I mean, you can smoke cigars. One of my favorite pictures of me and Eric Church standing next to each other, big old cigars in our mouth, just hanging out at the machine shop, dude. One of the coolest places. So we got a couple minutes before we got to move on to our next segment. So real quick before we wrap up and move on to our sponsor segment, one of the coolest things that you guys have been doing lately is the Songs That Made Us playlist that you guys will put on Apple, Spotify, all that. And then you've been playing a few of the songs live on your socials too. Tell me how that came up, and just like how that really means to you guys, having those kind of songs where we can kind of listen to it as a fan and say, okay, this is who they are.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, kind of goes back to our roots of playing cover shows and playing Broadway and stuff. Was, when we were playing cover band shows, it's not like we were playing top 40 all the time.
Mhm.
We were playing the songs that we loved, the songs that brought us together, that we wanted to make our career surrounded by. So we were just kind of chatting one day. We're like, man, let's make a playlist, and 20 songs on there, whatever, and just put the songs that made us want to do this whole damn thing in the first place. Like, what songs made you want to move to Nashville? And we put that playlist together, and we're like, man, let's just throw it on social media, and it was pretty well received. And people seemed really happy with it. And like, we're gonna get along because my love of songs is almost identical to yours. So now we've kept it up, throughout the year, and we'll throw in new songs like, hey, what are we loving this winter? What are we loving this spring and this summer? And just kind of making it a thing, and letting people, hey, come follow the playlist, and
It's sort of kind of like just like songs we're listening to at the moment.
Yeah.
So just a little more insight, just like another level of insight of
Yeah.
I might be around listening to or that,
Exactly.
whatever it is.
And I like that you guys do them solo too. So you guys are still showcasing your individual talents as well as getting the duo side of things. The Larry Fleet, dude, that cover was phenomenal. I love what you guys are doing.
Hard to sing like Larry Fleet, but
I love what you guys are doing though. 'Cause I love it that you guys are connecting. You guys are finding ways still to connect with your fans when you're not at shows. So until they start kicking back up again. So, all right, let's go ahead. All right, our pod deck section of the night or day now, our sponsor section. I pulled a couple cards earlier. And what was the first concert / show you guys went to? And that you remember going to, and what stood out? Like, who was it, and what stood out from that concert for you guys?
Well, for me, the one that comes to mind is I was in college actually, and this is one of my first stadium shows, if you want to call it a stadium. It was in my college. So I went to Georgia Southern down in Statesboro, Georgia, and Brad Paisley came. And so Brad Paisley came and played our football stadium, Paulson Stadium down there. So I went and saw him. Taylor Swift was an opening act for Brad Paisley back in the day.
You're showing your age right now.
With
Youngins.
Kelly Pickler was there, and somebody else. I can't remember the third one, but yeah, it was pretty wild. Got my cooler stolen out of the back of my truck.
That's never fun.
Yeah.
I can't really it's hard. I've tried to answer this question before. I can't really remember my first concert, or at least I can't recall it accurately. I've been to so many, but the one that I remember first, I saw Alan Jackson at the North Charleston Coliseum. And I just remember he put on one of the most amazing shows with no production, really.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have flash, all these crazy lights and smoke machines and all this other stuff.
Tell me, he didn't have fireworks?
No, he didn't have all that. He stood at the mic and he played his songs, and his country ass band played this country ass.
What? That doesn't sound like Alan Jackson.
And I remember vividly him playing Tall, Tall Trees, and I don't know why. That song to me has always just been a part of my childhood. I just loved it so much. And man, I just remember sitting there thinking, like, watching people's reaction of him just playing songs from a guitar and a band backing him up. He's not running around the stage. He's not doing he's just singing. And he's singing from the part, usually with his eyes closed. And I was like, if you can capture people like that, you can damn near do anything. And that's the first thing I remember for sure.
I love that because that's true. I mean, I remember seeing him with Leanne Rimes in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about dating ourselves, but and like it's just when I watched him and I was just like, okay, there's nothing. There's barely any lights. I mean, well, he had his normal lights, but there was no production to it. I really liked it. I'm like, okay, this is something I like, and that stood out to me. I love that is why, or that's an influence for you guys.
Well, and the other part of it is he could have those things if he wanted. Alan can do whatever he wants, but he chooses not to. And I don't know, it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I love that. All right, our next one, the second card we pulled earlier. What song do you wish you would have wrote? And if you could co-write with anyone, living or dead, who would you choose to co-write with?
Song I wish I would have wrote. I mean, to me, this is the same concept of what's your favorite song.
Yeah.
Red Rag Top, Tim McGraw. It's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I just think it is one of the best storytelling songs I've ever heard in my life. Jason White wrote it and originally put it out. And, man, that's when I wish I would have been a fly on the wall and been a part of writing. And Dream Right. Man, I would have to say I know it's probably everybody's answer. It's got to be Dean Dillon.
I was literally.
I mean, because his
went first.
honestly, I don't even if he didn't want to write, I just want to listen to him talk. I just want him to tell me stories. And I mean, I watched that documentary he has on Amazon Prime. It's called Tennessee Whiskey. Man, his story of how he got started and how he grew up and how he got in these rooms and how he became a writer, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is amazing.
Tony Lane's another one that's coming to mind.
I know. I keep saying it, and we keep talking about the Alan Jackson. I mean, he's up there for me, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. So I don't know.
I mean, we got two coming up on Thursday that I'm over the moon. Wendell Mobley and Tony Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And you mentioned Tony Lane. Yeah, one of my favorites is Better Rain. I love that song. And just God, dude, that's probably one of my favorite country songs or favorite songs ever out. Better Rain.
God, good.
So, oh man. So Chris, did you have any other ones that you want to add into that other than Jackson again for you? I mean, dream co-write or maybe a song that you wish you would have wrote?
Driver Williams is our dream co-write.
I didn't say dreamy co-write. I said dream co-write.
Oh, I got confused.
No, yeah. I mean, Tony Lane is definitely up there too, man. It's just, I've always loved a lot of the stuff that he does.
Jonathan Singleton's another one. We've never written with Jonathan Singleton.
Dude.
I've heard a lot of great things about him. I met him before, but never written with him, so he's up there for sure too.
I love Singleton, dude. Oh, he's one of my favorites, dude. So, all right, guys, our next section, before we get to some music, our hot seat. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw 60 seconds on the clock. Woo! We're probably gonna go. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I've never really done it with two people before. Last time I did it was like the honeymooners game. But all right, what have you both answer? Your first cassette or CD you ever owned?
Matchbox 20.
Rascal Flatts.
Nice. All right. What's your hometown famous for?
History.
Same.
History.
Who has the best pizza?
In the world?
Mm-hmm. That you ever had?
Giorgiano's.
What? It is good. I don't. What's the one in Chicago?
Luminati's or Giordano's?
Yeah.
All right. At least you guys both went to Chicago. That's my home. So, the strangest thing you guys have ever seen in the middle of the road?
An entire herd of cattle.
I don't know.
The entire herd of cattle.
I'm blanking on that one right now.
What is the oldest, most vintage item that you own?
That guitar I own, probably. Not this one, but the one at the house. The Martin D42K.
Nice.
I have no idea.
There you go.
So bad.
Well, what's one thing people buy that you think is a waste of money?
Super expensive gym memberships, like $200 a month gym memberships. That's insane.
I would say like really nice jeans. I feel like I can get a great fitting pair of jeans for not that expensive.
I'm just gonna ruin them anyway. Say, what would you be good at selling?
Man, I feel like I could sell property pretty well, like houses.
Maybe beer. Maybe I could be a.
I could sell beer. I could definitely.
Oh yeah. All right, there you go. Sell them out of beer now. Which format do you guys prefer to listen to your music in? Streaming, a CD, cassette, or a vinyl?
Ooh, I would say I stream mostly, but there's nothing like a good vinyl.
Yeah.
We have a big vinyl collection at the house.
Vinyl sounds great. Streaming is definitely. I mean, that's super.
I still have my parents' 1969 vinyl cabinet stereo. Yeah, I play my church vinyls on, so I love it. All right, what slogan or jingle gets stuck in your head every time you hear it?
Trust the Midas touch. All the time.
It's that what's the oh god, dude.
Allstate, are you in good
I
hands?
have a structured settlement
And I need cash now.
Call J.G. Whitworth. 877 cash now. That one.
That is the best, dude. All right, y'all. So you guys moved to town, not thinking you'd be a duo. You got to write with Driver, some cool people, dude, already. You're just getting your feet wet. What would you say is an item that is on your bucket list as a duo that you would want to accomplish? Maybe a venue or somewhere you want to play, or just something that you think would be really cool as a duo to accomplish?
This is
I
no
know
brainer
that
for
one
me.
right off the rip, playing the Opry.
That's where I'm at. The Grand Ole.
Yep.
But if I had to choose another one,
Playing the Robin.
I don't know. Playing.
Well, you know what another big one is for me? Having a song on the radio. I mean, that's a huge. I mean, that's a life changing moment. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hearing boot up coming out of a Broadway bar.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now that's
another
crazy, but yeah. Man, I think playing the Family Circle Tennis Center or the Performing Arts Center in my hometown would be amazing.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. Always going back home is always something cool for everybody. So, guys, thank you guys so much for being on the show. I'm going to throw it over to you guys now. Before we wrap things up, a couple songs that we'll throw in here. Definitely Boot Up and Along Those Lines were two that I really wanted to showcase for everybody. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about these two songs and just kind of give us a story behind them and where they came from before going into it.
Yeah, so you're gonna start with Along Those Lines.
Yes.
So we wrote Along Those Lines with
down with that other one.
wrote Along Those Lines with Greg Bates and Driver Williams, and I knew we were like, man, even though I grew up in South Carolina and Chris grew up in Georgia, and we didn't know each other, and really anybody you talk to, when you talk about growing up, your stories are so similar. Doesn't matter where you were. We're like, man, let's try to write a song that tips our hat to where we're from. But also, it's just like, it doesn't matter where you're from. We all kind of grew up along the same lines. And it came on our EP that came out about a month or so ago. And here it is.
May 28th is when it
May
came out.
28th.
The only reason I know that date because I got married on the 29th, the day after.
Dude.
Yeah. So that was
What
a
a
big
hell of a week.
weekend. That was a big weekend. But yeah, we wrote this song. This is one of those songs that we wrote over Zoom. So I mean, this is the product of quarantine right here.
Oh, yeah. You guys the stage.
3.
It's just under 200 square miles between the Wando River and the banks of Cicada Creek, rural routes and the back of fields. Kind of place that nobody leaves, where most folks drive a truck. It's a Civil War square and a couple stop lights. Yeah, no, it don't look like much between those county signs. Somewhere along those lines, I grew up more than a little bit. Yeah, somewhere along those lines, the way my daddy and his daddy did. Well, everybody's got a hometown, and if it's anything like mine, it's something along those lines. Probably something along those lines. It's a flat penny train track. It's 6-pound test on the 733, 4th and goal on the 5 on a Friday night. An open road when you're 17. It's the first time that you're here. A lot about living and a little about love, a backseat, and 2 young kids. We were 2 kids trying to cross it somewhere along those lines. I grew up more than a little bit. Somewhere along those lines, the way my daddy and his daddy did. Well, everybody's got a hometown, and if it's anything like mine, it's something along those lines. Probably something along those lines.
and I'm running behind it.
When I'm lost, I'll find it.
Somewhere along those lines, where I grew up more than a little bit. Somewhere along those lines, the way my daddy and his daddy did.
Well, everybody's got a hometown, and if it's anything like mine, something along those lines. Probably something along those lines. Yeah, something along those lines.
Probably something along those lines.
Dude. You guys had me jammed over here. I was rocking out. I almost fell out of this damn chair. I love that, dude. I love that Driver was even on that with you guys and everything else about that song. I just love that you guys are singing your own music too. I'm a huge fan of songwriters, dude. I've always been, because you'll never hear a song like it from a songwriter. I mean, ever. So, all right, Boot Up, man. How did it come about with Boot Up?
Yeah, so this is another song we wrote during the quarantine period, and it was on Zoom because no one could write in person.
Well, actually, this song probably wouldn't have been written had we not written it over Zoom.
That's true.
Because we were sitting there waiting on our producer Greg Bates to log on to his computer. He was running a bit late, so we wrote this song with Greg Bates and Austin Taylor Smith, and Greg was running late that morning. And he texts us and he goes, "Hey guys, sorry I'm running a little late. I'm waiting on my computer to boot up." So he gets on there and we're like, "Man, who says that? Who says they're waiting on their computer to boot up?" And we're just like giving him a hard time. We're like, "You sound like an old man," and we're just ragging on him for 3 or 4 minutes. And I was sitting there and I was like, "Man, what if we wrote that? It's kind of a cool title,
Yeah.
So we just tossed around some ideas and that's what we came up with.
All right, I'll give you guys the stage.
Break a little ground, cut a couple rows, drink a black cup of coffee before we go. We boot up. When we're done kicking shit, kickers off on the porch. Get down to the bar, kick in the door, slide them Tony Llamas on the sawdust floor. Boot up. We go to work in on the sun up to sundown, church in them, and your mama real proud. Making noise down south, boot up. It don't matter if you're still tore snake skin, if you're still brand new, we're all broke in. All the people like me showed up. Hey man, just walk tall like John Wayne, stomp real loud on some diamond plate. We're proud like our last name. That's just the way that we were raised. We go to work in on the sun up to sundown, church in them, making mama real proud. Yeah, the big old boys making noise down south. Boot up. It don't matter if you're still tore snake skin, if you're still brand new, we're all broke in. All the people like me show up. Come hell or high water in, you're gonna find me in those souls till the day I go. Boot up, boot up. We go working on the sun up to sundown, church in them, making mama real proud. Yeah, the good old boys making noise down south. Boot up. Don't matter if you're still tore snake skin, it's still brand new. We're all broken on people like me.
Oh man, dude, y'all were meant for each other. Seriously, it's just the way the world worked and brought those voices together, dude. Those harmonies, everything that it just sounds like y'all were meant, just made for this. So it's just like for together. I love it. It's like I said, the chemistry and the brotherhood you guys display is just unlike anything I've ever seen from a duo, dude. Like I'm throwing this back to Brooks and Dunn and all that stuff. I've never seen the chemistry I've seen from you guys. This whole episode and everything. I love everything about it. So thank you guys for hanging out for the last hour or so. You guys have any final words before we wrap up?
Yeah, Aaron, dude, just thank you so much. This has been really cool for the folks tuning in. For those of you that don't know us, my name's Matt. This is Chris. Together with Southerland. We put out our debut EP, Boot Up, May 28th. You can go find it wherever music is sold or streamed. And we appreciate y'all. And Aaron, we appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you, man. All the links are in the show notes up in the comments or everything in the description, I should say. So click on that, check everything out. We're going to give you guys right back on for a couple more songs for our Patreon guys here in a few minutes. So hang tight in the waiting room, and I'll bring you guys back on in a couple minutes. I'm going to wrap things up, but thank you guys so much for spending the time with us.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, dude. I'll get you guys back on here in a second. All right, guys. What another phenomenal show, dude. I had a blast with these guys, and God, I cannot believe the chemistry. Like I keep saying it. I know I keep repeating it, but the brotherhood, the chemistry, everything about these guys is just amazing. I loved having them on and seeing where they're going to go, and I wish them nothing but the best. But if you guys are in our Patreon, we're going to log off here in a couple minutes and bring them right back on for 2 more songs. I don't know what they're going to do. I picked a couple. I told them they could switch it up, whatever. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us tonight on episode 94 with Southerland. The passion in those guys is unlike anything I've ever seen. I love the drive and passion they have for the music just in general, but make sure you follow their socials and check them out live next time they come to your area. And I wish them nothing but the best and can't wait to see where 2022 or year 10 for them takes them, because they always say it's a 10-year town. They beat it. They beat the 10-year town. So we'll see you guys next week. Another great episode. John Byron is coming on. He wrote 865 for off the Dangerous album with Morgan Wallen. And many other songs. So he'll be up next week. I'll have the poster and everything done later on today. But we'll see you guys in a couple minutes if you're on Patreon. If not, see you next week.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.